All right, here's your first introduction to drawing in TinkerCAD. So as you can see, I'm in my dashboard and I have my one CD center still. And we're actually going to draw this as a part of a tutorial at one point in time. So I create new design is how I'm going to start this. And TinkerCAD loads up. Over on the side here, this is how you change your work planes around. Again, I talked about in a previous video, if I hold or scroll with my scroll button, my mouse button, I can scroll in and out. If I hold the mouse button down, I can lift it up and down and move it side to side. And if I hold the right mouse button down, I can actually spin around. So this is my work plane, right? And basically what I do is if I was to grab an object from over here and I just holding the left mouse button down, dragging it over, there's my object. And if I would like to resize it, I can zoom in right now, grab any corners, and you can see it highlights different things. So I'm just going to click on a corner, and geez, I want this to be 10, right? Or let's make this one 100. Okay, 100 by 20, and if I click somewhere else, I lose it. But if I click on the object, and then I can basically just drag the object from anywhere, right? And my height-wise, I'm just going to take my height, and I'm going to put it to 10. Whoops, I got to click on that there, and put it to 10. There's a simple object. Right? Now, I can click on it again. I can come up to rotate and I can just click on that and basically I can rotate, whoops, I can rotate it however I want. Right? So there's different ways to rotate things. If I needed, so you notice how this actually, if I'm grabbing like this, if I'm rotating, it's actually rotating on this axis, okay, because that's my front view. If I wanted to rotate the other way, I can spin and again grab rotate and I could rotate it this way. Okay. And if I wanted it to rotate from another view, right, I could rotate, sorry, I'm going to go that view, I'm going to go from the top view, sorry, and I'm going to rotate around over here, I'm going to go that way, there we go, and I could rotate this way. Okay, so there's multiple ways, you just got to play with it. You could also just hit the home button, like if you get really lost, and all of a sudden it's like, where did it go, I'm lost, confused, you can just hit the home button, and it puts you back to normal, all right? Now, if I wanted to add something to this, there's multiple ways. I'm going to show you what's called work plane again. So if I click on this and I basically go to work plane, I can create another work plane and click on it. And now I'm up above it and working on that top thing. So if I wanted to add something to it, let's say just a cylinder, right? I can now click on it and that cylinder now is added to that work plane, right? If I wanted to add something on the front, I click on work plane and I get on the front of it. And now I'm going to create, I don't know, I'll put a cone on the front, right? And again, if I turn this, you can see now it's going to work on the front of that. So you're now working in 3D space, right? And this is where kids, some people have a bit of an issue trying to figure out how to work in space. So I'm just going to make this 5 by 5, right? And there's my cone, and I'll just drag, oops, that was not what I want to do. I'll just drag it, and I'll just drag it somewhere out here. Okay, so there's my work plane like that. Now, if I ever want to get back to the very beginning, I click on work plane, just come out here somewhere, and I'm back on my work plane. Right? So there's how to move work planes, kind of how to resize things like that, right? Now I can move this, right? I can move it wherever I want, and it's always up in space. Okay? That's probably the easiest way to do things. And if you teach people right that way, it's really easy to put stuff together, right? Because you just build layer upon layer upon layer. So that's simply moving stuff around, dragging a simple object, changing work planes, right? Now the next one really quickly is just aligning. So I'm going to take this object and this object, and what I did, I can either highlight both of them like this, okay, or I can click on one, hold the shift key down, click on the other, and I've selected them all. Now I can use up here called align. And if I click on the align, it comes up with these dots. So I want to align this object to the center of the dots. So I can click on it like this, didn't really move. I click on this one, you can see it's going to highlight and move. And now it's in the center, right? And if I look from the top view, okay, you can see it's dead center now, right? So that's how you align things, and we can talk about that more later on, right? So that's basically aligning. And then finally, if you want to group something so that it won't move apart, because this right now I can still move it, right? If I hit Control Z, which is just undo, right? I can also hit undo right here. I can get it back to center, but I can also highlight an object. I can click on group. So right here is group, and we group it together, and now it's one solid object, right? And I can move the whole thing around. So there's just a really quick introduction to the work plane, adding some objects, and aligning. And at this point in time, we're going to stop, and we'll go on to another tutorial.